call this meeting to order at 3.
Here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. All right, we're going to call the meeting to order. It's 3:02 possibly.
It is.
If you have your cell phone, please shut it off. Becky, will you do the roll call, please?
Sure. Tom Wilson, Dean Friel,
Here.
Jack Scrogstead,
Here.
Chris Robertson,
Here.
Mike Pearson.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, any board members, department heads? Just Jeffrey, so no public. Now we need, everybody had a chance to look at the minutes. Do we have any corrections or changes from August 14th? If not, we'll stand as presented. Next thing on the agenda, Jeff, if you'd like us to give us your report, please, that'd be great.
So I've got a few lists of things here from talking about things that don't apply. Please let me know if there's things that you want to know more about the same. So the first thing I've got on here is in an effort to try and minimize the bat presence in the courthouse. We've done a few things, actually. We put up a bat house on the southeast corner of the building out there to try and get the bats to stay to the outside. We've installed cameras and some lights up in the dome area as well. Cameras to try and see where the activity's coming from, where they're coming and going. The lights to try and keep them out of the area if we can, as they don't seem to appreciate the lights. So the first weekend I had the cameras up there, I was seeing some activity. So enough. I don't know, but keep it going, try things out. Next, we hired right there at the end of August, we hired Michael Hager as a maintenance technician. So he's been here for about 3 weeks. So he's doing a good job. I think he's catching on. We've actually unfortunately got him working some janitorial until we can get the new custodian hired. So he's doing a little bit of that right now, but that I think is going to work. So hopefully that position will be filled shortly and we can get him back to the maintenance end of things. The old courthouse, the south entrance, concrete, wheel, more here, so I'm going to redirect everybody to the north side. The doorbell idea is a great idea. I think maybe we'll see if we can implement that a little bit too. So, also, I've been trying to do a little bit of research in terms of the common floors out here in the old courthouse to try and spruce up, if you will, the terrazzo floor, the marble floor, and the tile floor throughout just the common areas here. So just trying to get some pricing on that a little bit and see what that would entail. I've got 3 different methods I'm looking at to do that. One is either we do it in-house, which I don't have guys that have experience on that really, but I've had a couple of vendors that say that they can walk us through it and they've given us some samples. So we're going to actually try and do a little area down here on the 2nd floor, see how it turns out. If it doesn't turn out well, and we'll back off it. And if it does, then maybe we'll keep rolling with it. So otherwise, I got a vendor that came in and has 2 options. One is approximately $15,000. The other is approximately $27,000 to do the floor, just 2 different methods of it. So the crux of that really is the more expensive one, of course, is a sort of a one and done type of a coating. You still have to do a little buffing on it, but you don't have to recoat it every 1 or 2 years like you would with the cheaper system. That's more like $15,000. You'd have to continue to do that every year or 2, depending on traffic. So some things to weigh out there, but we'll look into that a little further as we go. We've been going back to the concrete thing. We've been working on a few little projects. So we got the concrete poured between the 911 center and the old jail. So that portion of the concrete is done. We have more to do with the wall and all, but we needed to get the this stairs torn out and the concrete poured just for water flow, keep it away from the other buildings. So that piece is done. Greg and I are working on drawing up some plans, if you will, for the lower floor of the old LEC in an effort to try and turn that into the maintenance department down there. So we're just trying to see how best to divvy the thing up. We're looking at a wood shop, storage or storage space for the housekeepers, a little welding area as well, possibly. So we've got a lot of work down there to try and get it put up the way we want it. But again, we're going to try and do as much of that as we can on our own. I've been working on trying to consolidate the cleaning products, see if we can get it down to one vendor, as well as just, we've got especially over COVID, this has happened to actually probably most companies. They got whatever they could and they got as much as they could. So now we've kind of got a bunch of chemicals that are usable. We won't throw them away by any means, but I think we just need to kind of go over our requirements for cleaning supplies and that. So I'm ready to pull the trigger on a preventative maintenance system, a CMMS system, if you will. I think that we had talked about that. I just wanted to bounce that in front of you guys and make sure that we're all clear to pull the trigger on that and get that ordered up. We're looking at, I think we're at 3,500 a year it would be for that system. So it'll take quite a while to load everything in and all the systems and PMs that we want and all our equipment we can put on there, as well as any parts, belts, filters, all that we can have, pulleys, all that we can have that all right on the system. So if we have a breakdown, we can go to the system, look up the part, go order it, and off we go, instead of trying to guess what somebody else put on in the past as far as parts are concerned.
So would that, not to interrupt you, would that include like work order system or whatever for, people need something done or whatever?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
I
it's
thought
both.
so.
Yeah, preventative maintenance and preventative work request systems, both.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
And so just to interrupt just a second, Jeff, so he did budget for that. We budgeted for that for next year. But I think the question before you is, just give him a head nod to go ahead and get started this year. As he said, there'll be a lot of data entry that needs to be done. And I believe you have money left in your budget, although it's been a few months since I've actually looked at it. But as long as you've got money in your budget, generally Finance Committee will give you the head nod to go forward, assuming this group does.
Yep. Yep.
So then do we need to forward this to finance, or can we just approve it as a committee?
If he's got it budgeted for this, if he's still got money left in his budget, you can just approve it through this committee. And for next year, it is budgeted specifically. In fact, I think we budgeted a little bit more than that because at the time you were still investigating what this would look like. So.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, yes. And Becky reminds me it's not on the agenda, so we can't make anything, just essentially a consensus. You can't really take any action on it. So
But we can give them the go ahead to do it if we decide to.
as long as you don't take official action, you just kind of give them a consensus. Yep. Give them a head nod.
Yeah.
Any questions or?
No,
I mean, that's, if you're comfortable with it and you think it's gonna work, well, I'm all for it, unless somebody has.
like you said, it's already in his budget, there's no need for us
Right.
to go ahead with it. You got to spend your budget on.
Right,
And then next year you'll be able to utilize that.
right, yeah, as a line item or whatever, so, yeah, I would say go for it.
Okay. All
And
right.
that's including all the buildings, correct? All the.
Yep.
This one, all the sheriffs and everything too.
Yeah, actually, I was looking to put the food bank on there too, so we can do a little bit of maintenance on it. Let's just make sure things are in good shape there. Anything from fire extinguishers to filters for the furnaces, all that. So, and then just general walkthroughs too is what I'll put on there too. So we just walk the outside of the building, let's say quarterly or whatever, just make sure somebody hasn't spray painted on the building, whatever, so,
Sure,
yeah.
makes perfect sense.
Mhm.
And then finally, been looking at the Aramark piece also for rented mats out on the floors. like to get rid of Aramark probably, and I think it's looking to me like we would be money ahead just to buy the mats and just be done with it. I've got two pieces there. One, we're vacuuming them every day anyways, keeping them clean. We'll buy a couple extra so we can swap them out if they get really greasy or something bad, you know. Otherwise, generally you can take them out back and hose them down and they're good to go again, you know, or we can shampoo them. We've got shampooers. So I think we can probably take care of that. The other piece to that is just for a little wow factor, I guess, at the front doors of, for instance, this building, the courts building, and the jail, I'd actually like to get a logo mat. So with the county logo right on it. So when people come in, there's a little bit of a visual on that. So that's kind of my plan. Either way, just a straight mat or even a logo mat is the return on the investment on that. I think the payoff is pretty short term. The logo mats, it's going to be it'll be about a year and a half before we kind of break even from Aramark, but that's a little bit of a cost, of course, with the imprint on that. So, but
Yeah, I mean,
those things should
makes perfect
last
sense to me.
long time.
I mean, is that something you're planning for next budget or this budget, or what do you?
It's going to depend on how it turns out with Aramark, I think. So.
Okay.
There's some contracts that we've signed with Aramark, and there are a variety of, you know, timelines as to when the contract ends or what options are to get out of the contract.
Yeah, I mean, first impression, it sounds like a heck of an idea to me.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
But
So
further
Aramark-
down the road, why, once you get Aramark straightened out, then we can.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I'm
That
under-
makes-
understanding all the rugs get vacuumed every day, correct? And then Aramark changes them out weekly or monthly or
Actually monthly.
monthly?
So we're really maintaining them, honestly. You know, we're maintaining them.
Yeah, so they're not really doing,
we're just
they're
saying-
taking clean rugs basically and cleaning them. cleaning
Yeah,
them again.
realistically, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think that's something.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Okay, sorry to keep interrupting you,
That's all right.
but strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah. And that's, I think that's the majority of what I've got. Well, we do have, I'm sorry, we also do have the elevator coming up on the 25th of this month, this elevator here. So we got that work going. We've got the roof torn out halfway so they can pull equipment out the roof. And so we're prepped and ready for them to just come and do what they got to do. So.
So are they pretty confident on a timeline for how that bearing what they run into or any issues they run into?
I think so.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah, that's one of those, once they start digging, who knows what,
Delay on parts?
yeah, right. Yeah,
Well, supposedly they got all the parts ready to go because they've only had like a year to do that. So,
Yeah,
so,
right.
but you don't know when you tear into something, you know, honestly, something could
Yeah.
come up.
what breaks or, you
Yeah.
know, that you were anticipating, so.
So that timeline is after this month's county board meeting. But depending upon the timeline, it is possible we will be doing committee week and potentially, not knowing for sure, month of October, county board meeting. So we are in early discussions. Becky and I were talking about it late last week. Fortunately, we've got the COVID experience of you know, what did we do during COVID to keep the building open to the public? And so we think we're going to set up some first floor Zoom or YouTube, actually Zoom. We've decided Zoom accessibility so individuals can come in on the first floor, either sit in the open area, the vestibule, to participate from there, or Paul Gorski did offer a small office area that Jonathan used to be in to, you know, do the same thing, to have it be out of the way of the public or the, you know, the people walking and coming and going through, because that'd be disruptive. So we could put up a few chairs and a table and a Zoom meeting there. But I am very optimistic, hopefully not naively optimistic, that they're going to do this in a very short window of time, because it's hugely disruptive when it's your only elevator. And for board members, we will be making that announcement going forward for board members if they are going to struggle to come up those stairs. they will have the option of participating, obviously via Zoom, so they could still participate in committee meetings and whatnot if it is too much of a challenge to come up those stairs. So we're working out logistics on that, and hopefully and we're going to be covering a zoning board meeting, same thing. So we're hoping to do some similar with the zoning board.
Okay, just a couple comments, Jeff, on your report. I've met your young man that's working here. He seems very personable.
Yeah.
You know, keep up the good work as far as hiring. I mean, we've been through it, so. And as far as the floors and stuff in this building, I mean, this is a historic building. It's a beautiful building. I mean, anything, in my opinion, you can do to make that much more attractive and whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
Great.
Anybody else have anything for Jeff or questions?
No, he's doing great.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Okay, no work orders for August, no unfinished business, no new business. Executive session, no. Anybody have anything else for the good of the cause?
No, sir.
All right, I guess I'll ask for motion for adjournment. So moved, so seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.